Hi guys! Welcome sa enginerdmath channel. Sa video na to ay tuturo ko sa inyo ang Laplace transform of derivatives. So kung gusto niyo itong matutunan, just keep on watching. Okay, so this time ay ituturo ko naman sa inyo yung Laplace transform of derivatives. So, saan ba ginagamit itong Laplace transform of derivatives? So, ang pinakamahalagang application nito is kapag nagsasolve tayo ng differential equations with initial condition values. Meaning, dapat meron tayong value ng certain function at 0 as well as yung certain value ng functions na yon from its first to nth derivative. Depende doon sa degree nung inyong differential equation. So, ano ba yung formula for Laplace transform of derivatives? So, sabi, if f of t is a continuous function of exponential order and all its nth derivatives is at least piecewise or sectionally continuous over every finite interval, then, so ito yung mga formula for Laplace transform of derivatives. So, let's say we have a Laplace transform of f prime of t, or first derivative of f of t, we have it is equal to s Laplace transform of f of t minus f of 0. Then b, if we have second derivative of f double prime of t, when we find its Laplace transform, it is equal to s squared times Laplace transform of f of t minus quantity s f of 0 plus f prime of 0. Then for c, we have Laplace transform of third derivative of f of t, or f triple prime of t, we have it is equal to s cubed times the Laplace transform of f of t minus quantity s squared f of 0 plus s times f prime of 0 plus f double prime of 0. Or in general, let's say we have the nth derivative of f of t, its Laplace transform of f nth derivative of t is equal to s raised to n Laplace transform of f of t minus quantity s raised to n minus 1 f of 0 plus s raised to n minus 2 f prime of 0 plus plus s times f raised to n minus 2 derivative at 0 plus f raised to n minus 1 derivative at 0. Okay, so mapapansin nyo sa formula, meron tayong value ng function evaluated at 0 as well as yung first derivative, second derivative, up to nth derivative. Meron tayong nakitang pattern dito. So, kapag hinahanap natin yung Laplace transform, let's say, ng nth derivative, magsisimula ka doon sa s raised to n. Kung ano yung derivative ng f of t na function na hinanap mo ng Laplace transform, yun yung unang exponent mo doon sa s. Tapos, multiplied sa Laplace transform ng mismong function. Okay? And then, minus the quantity. So, puro minus na to. Add mo yung product. Magsimula ka doon sa s. Bawasan mo ng isa. So, s raised to n minus 1. Multiply sa f of t evaluated at 0. And then, plus. Naka-quantity to Bawasan mo ulit yung s ng isa. So, magiging s raised to n minus 2. Multiplied naman this time sa first derivative na nung f at 0. Plus hanggang makapunta ka doon sa dulo kung saan yung s mo ay ang degree niya na ay 0. So parang dito sa dulo, s mo is raised to 0, right? So parang di na siya sinulat. Kasi parang 1 na siya. Times n minus 1 derivative nung f evaluated at 0. So, kung yung n mo dito ay 5, dulo mo dito is 4th derivative nung f evaluated at 0. For example lang yon. Okay? So, kaya dito sa example natin, let's say dito sa third derivative, Laplace transform nung f triple prime of t is, so dahil third derivative nga tayo, n natin is 3. So, nagsimula siya sa s raised to n, or n is 3, so s cubed, times the Laplace transform of f of t. Okay? Minus, tapos quantity. So, binawasan niya yung s ng isa. So, naging s squared. Minultiply niya sa f of t evaluated at 0. Plus, binawasan niya uli yung s ng isa. So, naging s multiplied sa first derivative ng f evaluated at 0. And then, plus, This time, wala ng s. Binawasan mo yung exponent ng s na 1 ng isa. So, s raised to 0 or parang s raised to 0 or 1 na. So, multiply mo sa second derivative ng f evaluated at 0. Kasi nga yung n mo ay 3. So, ang dulo mo dapat is n minus 1 derivative evaluated at 0 nung f. So, kaya f double prime of 0. So, ganun lang yung pattern. Okay? So, apply natin to ngayon sa pagsasolve natin ng DE. Okay? Okay, so let's try to solve some differential equations. For the first example, we have solve the following differential equation. Y prime plus y is equal to sine x. Y of 0 is equal to 0. Okay, so meron tayong DE na y prime plus y is equal to sine x. So kapag magsasolve tayo ng DE using Laplace transform of derivatives, pwede nating hanapin muna yung Laplace transform of both sides. Okay? So, we have, pag distribute natin yung Laplace transform operator dito sa left side, we have Laplace transform of y prime plus Laplace transform of y equals, and then sa right side, we have Laplace transform of sine x. So, dito sa Laplace transform of y prime, apply natin yung formula sa taas. So, ito lang yun, di ba? Yung Laplace transform of f prime of t. So, equal siya sa, so, s, magsisimula ka sa s, raised to, dahil first derivative lang siya, raised to 1 lang, right? Or kahit hindi natin isulat. Times Laplace transform nung y, minus, yung s, babawasan mo ng isa, so s raised to 0, or kahit wala na, kasi 1 na yon, times f of 0, or I mean y of 0, right? Plus eto, Laplace transform of y, simply copy lang Laplace transform of y equals, anong Laplace transform ng sine x? According to our Laplace transform formula, it is equal to 1 over s squared plus 1, right? Kasi yung a natin dito is parang 1 lang, right? So, itong Laplace transform of y, gawin ko na lang function of s agad. So, s, y of s minus, substitute natin yung value ng y of 0 dito, which is 0. So, 0 plus, ito rin, y of s is equal to 1 over s squared plus 1. So, ang goal natin is, masolve natin yung y of s. So, factor out natin yung y of s, we have s plus 1 equals 1 over s squared plus 1. So, divide both sides by s plus 1. Parang we have y of s is equal to 1 over s plus 1 times s squared plus 1. Right? So, ngayon, i-apply natin dito yung pagganap ng inverse Laplace transform. Kasi in terms of s siya, diba, yung original variable natin is x. So, hanapin natin yung inverse Laplace transform of both sides para mahanap natin yung function of y in terms of x. Right? Parang sa time domain. So, finding the inverse Laplace transform of both sides, we have, so, inverse Laplace transform of y of s is simply y na lang. Right? Parang y of x, or kahit hindi natin isulat, y na lang. Equals inverse Laplace transform ng 1 over s plus 1 times s squared plus 1. So, try natin i-decompose muna into partial fraction itong rational expression. So, apply natin yung natutunan natin sa pagganap ng inverse Laplace transform. So, we have 1 over s plus 1 times s squared plus 1 is equal to a over s plus 1 plus itong s squared plus 1, dapat meron siyang, let's say, bs plus c, right? Kasi quadratic na siya. So, next step, multiply natin sa LCD na s plus 1 times s squared plus 1. So, distribute, we have, cancel lahat, matitira is 1, equals, distribute sa a, cancel si s plus 1, matitira is a times s squared plus 1. Then, distribute sa bs plus c, cancel si s squared plus 1, matitira is bs plus c times s plus 1. Okay, so equating coefficient na lang tayo. So, distribute ko si a, magiging as squared plus a plus, ito, binomial, FOIL, bs squared plus bs plus cs plus c. Tapos, gather natin yung mga similar terms. So, sa s squared, meron tayong a plus b quantity squared plus sa s, meron tayong b plus c quantity times s, and then sa constant, meron tayong a plus c equals dito sa 1. Equating coefficient for s squared, we have walang s squared itong left side, so 0. 0 is equal to numerical coefficient nung s squared sa right side, which is a plus b. For s raised to 1 or s, wala rin tayong s component dito sa left side, so 0 ulit, equal sa numerical coefficient ng s sa right side na b plus c. Then lastly, for constant, this time meron na tayo 1, right? Equal dito sa a plus c sa right side. Okay, so meron tayong 3 equations in 3 unknowns a, b, and c. So, eliminate ko dito si c sa, let's say, 1, 2, 3. Sa equation 2 at 3. So, subtract natin. So, we have 0 minus 1 is negative 1 is equal to b minus a. So, c minus c is cancel na. Right? So, meron tayong negative 1 equals b minus a. Let's say equation 4. Tapos, gamitin ko sa equation 1. So, parang we have, pagtapatin ko na lang, b plus a is equal to 0. Add natin para makancel si a. So, magiging negative 1 is equal to b plus b is 2b. Divide both sides by 2. We have b is equal to negative 1 half. Okay, so meron na tayong b. So, para ma-solve si a, gamitin natin yung equation 1. A is equal to negative b. So, since b is negative 1 half, we have negative of negative 1 half, positive 1 half. Siya si a. And then si c, dito na lang ulit sa equation 2. So, c is equal to negative b. So, equal lang siya then sa a kasi a is equal to negative b. So, a is equal to 1 half. So, c is therefore 1 half then. So, therefore, meron na tayong a, b, c. So, plug in natin ngayon dito sa decomposed version. So, we have 1 over s plus 1 times s squared plus 1 is equal to, a natin is 1 half, right? Over s plus 1 plus b natin is negative 1 half times s plus c na 1 half over s squared plus 1. Okay, so therefore, ito yung i-inverse Laplace transform natin, yung decomposed version. So, we have distribute yung inverse Laplace transform operator, tas yung constant igilid, we have 1 half inverse Laplace transform of 1 over s plus 1 plus etong s squared plus 1, pwede natin itong i-distribute. Parang we have inverse Laplace transform of negative 1 half s over s squared plus 1 plus 1 half over s squared plus 1. Then, distribute natin, we have inverse Laplace transform. Itong negative 1 half, igilid ko. So, hanapin na lang natin yung inverse Laplace transform ng s over s squared plus 1. And then, dito, sa 1 half over s squared plus 1 plus 1 half igilid, inverse Laplace transform na lang ng 1 over s squared plus 1. So, therefore, hanapin na lang natin yung inverse Laplace itong tatlo. So, diba equal to sa y? Equals, ano inverse Laplace transform nito? So, we have 1 half, inverse Laplace transform ng 1 over s plus 1. Equal yan sa e raised to negative x. Right? So, x yung gagamitin kong variable kasi x yung original given natin sa problem kasi sin x. Okay? And then, dito, negative 1 half, anong inverse Laplace transform ng s over s squared plus 1? So, meron kang s sa numerator. Cosine, right? So, cosine, a mo is 1. So, 1x or simply x. Right? Plus 1 half, ano inverse Laplace transform ng 1 over s squared plus 1? So, this time, constant numerator. So, expect na meron kang sine lang. So, sine a na 1. So, sine 1x or simply x. So, therefore, this is the final answer. Okay? Next, we have solve the differential equation y double prime minus 3y prime plus 4y equals 0, y of 0 is equal to 1, and y prime of 0 is equal to 5. Okay, so sulat ko muna uli. Y double prime minus 3y prime plus 4y is equal to 0. So, hanapin natin yung Laplace transform of both sides. So, we have, distribute ko yung Laplace transform operator, Laplace transform of y double prime minus 3 Laplace transform of y prime plus 4 Laplace transform of y equals Laplace transform of 0 is just 0. So, apply natin dito yung Laplace transform of second derivative. So, magsimula tayo sa s squared, then Laplace transform nitong y, so parang y of s, right? Minus, bawasan natin yung s ng isang degree, so parang 2 minus 1 or 1. So, kahit di ko na isulat. Times y evaluated at 0. Plus, yung degree uli ng s, bawasan natin ng isa, sa magiging s raised to 0 or 1 na lang, times first derivative ng y evaluated at 0. So, y double prime at 0. Okay? Minus, itong 3, Laplace transform of y prime. So, therefore, first derivative lang tayo, so mag-start tayo sa s. Then, multiply sa Laplace transform ng y. So, y of s, right? Minus, so, bawasan ulit natin yung s ng isang exponent. So, s raised to 1 minus 1, s raised to 0, or kahit wala na. Kasi 1 na yon. Parang 1 times y evaluated at 0 lang. So, parang y of 0. Okay? And then, plus 4, Laplace transform ng y is simply y of s equal 0. So, substitute natin lahat ng value. So, s squared y of s minus, distribute ko ng negative s times, anong y of 0? 1. So, parang 1s or simply s. Tapos ito, negative, y prime of 0. Anong y prime of 0? 5. So, parang negative 5. Distribute ko yung negative 3, magiging 3s y of s. So, negative 3 times negative y of 0. Yung y of 0 is 1. So, parang negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. Plus 4y of s equal 0. So, lahat ng may mga y of s, pagsamahin ko, yung mga wala dito sa right side transpose ko. Okay? So, we have s squared. So, factor out ko si y of s, times s squared minus 3s plus 4 equals, so, transpose natin si negative s, magiging positive s na siya. Si negative 5 magiging positive 5. Then si positive 3 magiging negative 3. So, parang we have, ilan na to? S plus 5 minus 3 or 2. Right? So, plus 2. Tapos, divide natin both sides by s squared minus 3s plus 4. So, cancel. Y of s is equal to s plus 2 over s squared minus 3s plus 4. So, hanapin na natin yung inverse Laplace transform of both sides. So, we have y na to, right? So, therefore, equal na lang siya sa inverse Laplace transform itong s plus 2 over s squared minus 3s plus 4. So, hanapin na lang natin to. So, kung mapapansin nyo, yung denominator natin dito is quadratic, pero hindi na siya factorable. So, computing the square na lang yung gagamitin natin. So, i-complete natin yung square nito. So, we have s squared minus 3s. So, divide natin by 2 yung numerical coefficient ng s na negative 3. We have negative 3 halves. Tapos, square pa natin. So, 9/4, right? So, therefore, mag-a-add tayo ng 9 over 4. And then, copy ko muna tong plus 4. Magma-minus din tayo at the same time ng 9 over 4 para balance. Okay? So, pwede na natin itong i-factor. S minus 3 halves quantity squared plus, anong 4 minus 9 over 4? 7 over 4, right? So, therefore, parang meron tayong inverse Laplace transform ng s plus 2 over s minus 3 halves quantity squared plus 7 over 4. So, mapapansin nyo, meron tayong negative 3 halves dun sa s. So, apply natin dito yung formula na e raised to bt sin 80 tsaka e raised to bt cosine 80. So, kailangan din natin sa numerator ng negative 3 halves para dito sa e raised to bt cosine 80. Right? So, mag-add at subtract tayo ng 3 halves sa numerator. So, s minus 3 halves plus 2, kopya ko si 2, and then plus 3 halves para sa minus natin na 3 halves. Para balance. So, over s minus 3 halves quantity squared plus 7 over 4. Okay? Then, inverse Laplace transform. Then, tsaka nyo i-distribute. So, eto, ilan na to? 2 plus 3 halves. 7 over 2, right? So, distribute na natin tong denominator. Inverse Laplace transform ng s minus 3 halves over s minus 3 halves quantity squared plus 7 over 4 plus 7 halves over s minus 3 halves quantity squared plus 7 over 4. So, itong 7 over 4, pwede natin itong i-rewrite as square root of 7 over 2 quantity squared. Para yung a natin is itong square root of 7 over 2. Tapos, yung b natin dito is 3 halves. Para ma-apply natin itong formula na to. Okay, so parang we have inverse Laplace transform. So, distribute ko na s minus 3 over 2 over s minus 3 halves quantity squared plus square root of 7 over 2 quantity squared and then plus inverse Laplace transform. Itong 7 over 2 constant. So, igigilid ko na lang. So, parang inverse Laplace transform of 1 over s minus 3 halves quantity squared plus square root of 7 over 2 squared. So, ito, readily pwede nating mahanap gamit yung e raised to bt cosine 80. So, e raised to b natin is 3 halves. So, 3 halves x times cosine 80. So, a natin is square root of 7 over 2 times x. Right? Plus, ito na lang, 7 halves times. So, para ma-apply natin yung e raised to bt sine 80, kailangan natin ng square root of 7 over 2 sa numerator. So, para magawa yon, mag-multiply tayo sa numerator ng square root of 7 over 2 at the same time, sa denominator din ng square root of 7 over 2. Okay? So, parang, itong square root of 7 over 2, igigilid ko na lang kasi constant siya. So, parang we have 7 over 2 times 1 over square root of 7 over 2 or 2 over square root of 7, right? Times square root of 7 over 2 over s minus 3 halves quantity squared plus square root of 7 over 2 squared. Inverse Laplace transform. So, ito, cancel si 2, parang 7 over square root of 7. Rationalize natin. Equal na siya sa 7 square root of 7 over 7 or simply square root of 7. Tapos ito, apply na natin yung e raised to bt sine 80. We have e raised to b na 3 halves x times sine 80. Yung a natin is same na square root of 7 over 2 x. So, pagsamahin na natin dito, we have e raised to 3 halves x cosine square root of 7 over 2 x plus square root of 7 e raised to 3 halves x sine square root of 7 over 2x. So, ito na si y. Right? So, therefore, this is the final answer. Okay? Okay, so I think that's it for this video. Laplace transform of derivatives. So yun yung application natin ng Laplace transform of derivatives for solving differential equation. So, mas madali siyang gamitin kaysa doon sa conventional method natin sa DE na hinahanap natin yung auxiliary equation, then sinasolve natin yung roots and so on. Kasi dito, Laplace transform na lang yung ginagamit natin. Okay? So, sana ay may natutunan kayo sa video na to at maraming salamat sa panonood.